Today, this wild TikTok claims that capitalism is just modern day slavery. Buckle up and get ready to lose some brain cells with me as we take a listen.
This is slavery. They just let us watch TV when we're done with our day's work. This is slavery. We just have the choice of Pizza Hut and Taco Bell and Burger King. This is slavery times two. Not only do they make a majority of the money off of your labor, you go and spend your slavery bucks and they make double on the products that you buy. A car loan, a loan for your college education, a loan for your home. This is slavery, you guys. They got people slaving so hard they're developing mental health problems. And guess who gets the profit when those people seek help? Not us. It's slavery. It's slavery, but the white people are in the house. They're close to the massa. The rest of us are out in the field.
Oh?
And don't get it wrong, some of them come out of the house and go out into the fields, and some of them in the fields go into the house. Everyone's always banging so hard for capitalism, but it's just slavery, you guys. It's just slavery.
I'm usually really not one to even use this word or to bring up this point, but I feel like in this case, I just kind of have to. How is this not offensive to actual victims of slavery, which is still a practice in parts of the world and is such a horrifying and terrible thing? How is this not offensive and insulting to compare the life of a free working person in one of the most prosperous societies in human history to that of a slave who was brutalized and forced to labor in disgusting and horrific conditions and given no freedom and no liberty and have their rights violated in too many ways to count? How is that not like in a society that gets offended over jokes, how is unironically making those kinds of assertions and absurd comparisons not actually offensive? That's what I don't understand. The double standard here between policing jokes, but then people can actually say in seriousness, and no, I checked, this is not a parody account or a bot. This can be said in seriousness and it's somehow not considered worthy of offense. I would consider it profoundly offensive if I was the descendant of slaves, or if I had been a survivor of modern day slavery, to compare my plight or my ancestors' plight to that of the modern day laborer who works from home and eats Taco Bell. Like, babe, seriously? I mean, the whole thing is so unhinged. Capitalism and just working for a living is not in any way, shape, or form similar to slavery. Because by definition, slavery, you're not paid, you're not compensated, your labor is forced, and you don't get to choose where you work. You can't quit your job as a slave. You can't put in your 2 weeks notice as a slave, babe. It is absurd. It's such an offensive comparison, an outrageous comparison, because it's literally the antithesis of slavery, where you have free will and you can decide what to do, what kind of work, where to work, how to structure your life. All of this is up to you, and it's up to you to pave your way in life and shape your life for yourself. This is literally the opposite of slavery. And I mean, the idea that like, oh, well, now you use your slave bucks, which that's an oxymoron, babe. There is no money given to slaves. That's kind of the point, to just buy Taco Bell, and we're supposed to be happy with that. I think a lot of slaves would have loved to have some Taco Bell and to be able to watch TV. Like, the comparison here is so galling. The luxury, the relative luxury of modern day life, even for the poorest Americans, compared to the standard of living of even the rich people back then, let alone the actual slaves and the brutally victimized people back then. It's giving incredibly out of touch. And who is this they that this person keeps referring to? Well, they get to get rich because then you need mental health care and then you go see you mean that's just other people who are working, who own a business, or who are therapists or are counselors. Like, the they is all of us. We all make money and profit from the things that other people need, and we work in that field to provide that need. And I don't even understand what the alternative here is supposed to be compared to this apparently dystopian slave-like state where you're expected to pay for yourself as an adult, pay for your food, pay for your housing, pay for your own car. I mean, what? Is everything you need and want in life supposed to just be provided to you for free? Where's it going to come from? Who's going to pay for it? Who's going to labor and toil to provide it for you for free? And wouldn't those people actually have to be slaves? Like, it doesn't make sense. And why are you so profoundly entitled, yet also so profoundly self-victimizing. It's a really stunning combination. And this isn't just some fringe TikToker, guys. You actually see this idea, this argument that wage labor is akin to slavery, echoed by some of the most prominent intellectuals on the left, the Noam Chomskys of the world. And I've always just found it so absurd, and so obviously it doesn't pass the sniff test. And it's just so directly contradicted by the daily lives and experiences of millions of people in this free country who get to choose what they do for a living, choose where they work, can quit their job, get paid. It's just totally different. And it's always struck me as a really outrageous and ridiculous comparison. But none of that's to say that the plight of the modern day worker isn't hard, isn't tough, or that people aren't struggling to get by. And I acknowledge all of that, but there's many reasons for it. And a lot of them aren't really related to capitalism and are instead often able to be traced back to failures of our government and its interventions and meddling in our system and in our society. So it's not to say everything's perfect and wonderful and miraculous in our modern world for any worker or laborer. Of course not. But much of that is not the fault of capitalism, and none of it is in any way comparable to slavery. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me that this TikTok is as unhinged as it seems to me? Let me know in the comments, and do hit that like button to reward my suffering through the depths of stupidity that is this clock app.